have defined a height for this element. What about this one's no height? So let me define a height for this element and see. The nav anchors and then the nav div. So let me inspect this one too and see why. You see the problem we are having here. It looks like this one sits in a container. So let me expand this so that we inspect it very well. The arrangement is making us have issues. So when you look at this element, it sits in a container, and that container is this section here. And then we have a div that closes it. We have also this container here. So these are the two containers, right? So now let's see why we can't actually. Okay. So let me how many minutes? Okay, at least we have some few minutes to 30. So let's look at it very well and then fix it. Let's arrange it very well. So now we have this element here, navbar. We have this element section here. So let me clean it up a little bit. Shift tab will bring it back when you select. Then let me also tab this and then make sure they are nicely aligned. Okay, so I have my navbar, my div, and then the section. What I want to do now is that I'm going to put this, I'm going to display grid on this particular element, and then after displaying grid on them, I would create two columns and then position these elements inside it. That's all. So this navbar div, And then let me check this. So we have the navbar div, we have displayed it as grid, then we have the individual sections inside this div. So we will target the individual sections, give it a height of 100%, a width of 100%, and also display flex on them. So we will come here, we'll say navbar give me a moment here. So we have navbar div, and then we have the section inside it, display flex, and then align items to the center. Where is our icon? Okay, I think we have lost the, because the icon is here, so where has it gone to? The icon should be here. This thing is, I've zoomed the page, that's why. So now let me come back here. So exactly that's what we wanted. I wanted this to be in line, and then because I was doing it on the fly, I have actually not planned the way I will arrange it so that I can easily target them. That's why it gave me that tough time, but it is now okay. We have the icons displayed there nicely. We want to also look at 29. Yep. So I think I need to explain what we have done. So again, this is what we did. We created a component, okay? Now at any point in time, if I want to use the navbar, I can come, because the navbar is a component, I can come in here to my header and then type in another navbar here. And look at what will happen. It's added another navbar without a hassle. I just created this component and then reference this component here, and then I had this showing up again. I can also create other components, like, let me come back and then create a contact.js, and then in the contact.js we would create ReactJS. I just want to use it to demonstrate something, so if you can't catch up with me, no problem. Tomorrow, Saturday, we'll talk about that. Okay, we'll be doing some more stuffs in React, especially working with dynamic data in React. So when we get there, we'll pick up a layout, a complete layout, and then we'll work on those complete layouts, put in contents there based on our own content. So for instance, I've created a component, and in here I'm going to put, let's say, h3 of contacts page here. So I can just simply come to my app.js here and then import that component, right? So when I say import and then I say contact, it takes a little while to resolve, but then it would pop up, you see. So it's showing me where I can target that component from. And then anytime I come and put it here, let's say contact, as easy as that, I should be able to have the contacts page also displayed here, right? So this things you have here, which are like smaller units of code or small block units of codes, are what you are using to segregate your entire website, divide your entire. So you can have a sidebar can be a component, okay? A banner can be a component, a navbar can be a footer can be a component, maybe an advert on your website can be a component, a section that describes maybe about you is there, it's a component. Even a picture you want to also insert can be a component on its own. And anytime you want to pass a picture, you just call that component and pass those pictures as arguments or parameters to that component, and then it will be displayed on your page. So that is the beauty, that is how powerful React is, making all these things reusable, these codes reusable, and that you don't have to redefine them again with all the various pages you want to put them in. We've also talked about what goes into the package.json file. If you want to run your code, it actually gives you an option to run this your React page in a lightweight server, like something like a NodeMon server. And so anytime you make changes to your code, automatically it refreshes the page to display the changes you have made. You also have all the libraries you have installed in here in the dependencies. There will be some libraries would not be shipping to production, and those libraries would be installing them as dev dependencies. So for instance, if you want to install a library as a dev dependency, you just do your npm install, and then you do -d, capital D, okay, and then the name of the library you want to install, then you define it here. So when you do that, it would let me do one thing here. You are not to do it now. SQLite 3. So I'm installing SQLite 3 as a dev dependency to just show you something. So aside the dependencies, you can also have a dev dependency installed, which has not yet popped up, but then immediately I install it, you will see it added as one of the options here. And then I also mentioned that in the node models, that's where all the, like what I'm installing and the SQLite libraries would just be added to the node modules here. So when you drill down, you will see it there. There's no need tampering with it, okay? All you have to do is to import it and start using it. And then we also mentioned that all the assets, the files you want to show publicly, can go into the public folder. But then the ones you can even create the sensitive data we don't want to actually make people see, we will create an env.env file and then put those contents in there. As we move along, you'll be seeing some of these things coming in. And then all your components, your files, the main files you are working with to display on the page would come into the SRC folder, okay? So that is